Day 710, Tuesday, August 5th. Ezra 7. Ezra 7 1-28 NKJV. Now after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes king of Persia, Ezra the son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shallum, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Meraioth, the son of Zerahiah, the son of Uzzi, the son of Buki, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra came up from Babylon, and he was a skilled scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. The king granted him all his request, according to the hand of the Lord his God upon him. Some of the children of Israel, the priests, the Levites, the singers, the gatekeepers, and the Nethinim came up to Jerusalem in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes. And Ezra came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was in the 7th year of the king. On the 1st day of the 1st month he began his journey from Babylon, and on the 1st day of the 5th month he came to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his God upon him. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord, and to do it, and to teach statutes and ordinances in Israel. This is a copy of the letter that King Artaxerxes gave Ezra the priest, the scribe, expert in the words of the commandments of the Lord, and of his statutes to Israel, Artaxerxes, king of kings, to Ezra the priest, a scribe of the law of the God of heaven, perfect peace, and so forth. I issue a decree that all those of the people of Israel and the priests and Levites in my realm, who volunteer to go up to Jerusalem, may go with you. And whereas you are being sent by the king and his 7 counselors to inquire concerning Judah and Jerusalem, with regard to the law of your God which is in your hand, and whereas you are to carry the silver and gold which the king and his counselors have freely offered to the God of Israel, whose dwelling is in Jerusalem, and whereas all the silver and gold that you may find in all the province of Babylon, along with the free will offering of the people and the priests, are to be freely offered for the house of their God in Jerusalem. Now therefore, be careful to buy with this money bulls, rams, and lambs, with their grain offerings and their drink offerings, and offer them on the altar of the house of your God in Jerusalem. And whatever seems good to you and your brethren to do with the rest of the silver and the gold, do it according to the will of your God. Also the articles that are given to you for the service of the house of your God, deliver in full before the God of Jerusalem. And whatever more may be needed for the house of your God, which you may have occasion to provide, pay for it from the king's treasury. And I, even I, Artaxerxes the king, issue a decree to all the treasurers who are in the region beyond the river, that whatever Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of the God of heaven, may require of you, let it be done diligently, up to 100 talents of silver, 100 cores of wheat, 100 baths of wine, 100 baths of oil, and salt without prescribed limit. Whatever is commanded by the God of heaven, let it diligently be done for the house of the God of heaven. For why should there be wrath against the realm of the king and his sons? Also we inform you that it shall not be lawful to impose tax, tribute, or custom on any of the priests, Levites, singers, gatekeepers, Nethinim, or servants of this house of God. And you, Ezra, according to your God-given wisdom, set magistrates and judges who may judge all the people who are in the region beyond the river, all such as know the laws of your God, and teach those who do not know them. Whoever will not observe the law of your God and the law of the king, let judgment be executed speedily on him, whether it be death, or banishment, or confiscation of goods, or imprisonment. Blessed be the Lord God of our fathers, who has put such a thing as this in the king's heart, to beautify the house of the Lord which is in Jerusalem, and has extended mercy to me before the king and his counselors, and before all the king's mighty princes. So I was encouraged, as the hand of the Lord my God was upon me, and I gathered leading men of Israel to go up with me. Daily deep dive. The UCG reading plan states, we return now to the book of Ezra. The events of Ezra 6 occurred during the reign of Darius the Great. Chapter 7 jumps forward to the reign of his grandson Artaxerxes I, also known as Longimanus 464 to 424 BC. It was between these two chapters that the events of the book of Esther took place, during the reign of Xerxes, the son of Darius and father of Artaxerxes. With the death of Xerxes in 465 BC, the reins of government should have been handed over to another Darius, the eldest son of Xerxes, but instead Artaxerxes his brother murdered him, with the encouragement of Artabanus, captain of the guard, and took his place as King Eugene Merrill, Kingdom of Priests, A History of Old Testament Israel, 1987 p. 499. Artaxerxes' reign was beset by widespread unrest and even revolt, particularly in the more remote provinces. By 460, Egypt refused to pay further tribute, and solicited and received support from the Greek Delian League in this bold act of defiance. Persia undercut this arrangement by bribing the Western Asia Minor city of Sardis to go to war with Athens, a move that neutralized the League and jeopardized not only Egypt but Athens. The orator-statesman Pericles had begun to lead Athens to a position of dominance amongst all the Greek states by 458, a situation that the latter feared and resented. The Greek civil wars which then broke out freed Artaxerxes of further concern for his Western Asia provinces, allowing him to attend to matters closer to home. p. 499. It was in this time frame, specifically in 457 BC, the 7th year of Artaxerxes, see verses 7 to 8, that the king gave permission to Ezra to lead a band of exiles back to Jerusalem. Most scholars assume that the 7th year of Artaxerxes should be reckoned according to the Persian custom of dating regnal years from spring to spring, Nisan to Nisan, which was also the Jewish religious calendar. Thus Ezra would have begun his journey on the first day of Nisan 8 APR, 458, and arrived on the first day of AB 4 Og, 458. Yet, during the monarchy the Israelites had adopted a civil fall-to-fall calendar, Tishri to Tishri, as well. And some have argued that the Jews resumed such a calendar after the exile, partly on the basis of an elephantine papyrus of the Jewish community in Egypt at the time. The 7th year of Artaxerxes would have run from Tishri 458 to Tishri 457. Ezra would have left on 27 March 457 and arrived on 23 July 457. Expositor's Bible Commentary, note on verses 7 to 9. These latter dates appear to be the correct ones, for the fall-to-fall reckoning is confirmed by comparing Nehemiah 1:1 and 2:1, as the Hebrew month Kislev, corresponding to November-December, there precedes Nisan, corresponding to March-April, in the same 20th year of Artaxerxes, whereas Nisan would mark a new regnal year, if a Nisan-to-Nisan reckoning were used. Ezra 7 gives us our first introduction to Ezra himself. Introduced with a long genealogy showing his priestly descent from Aaron, verses 1 to 5, he is called the son of Sariah, verse 1, which actually refers not to his immediate father but to his line of descent, as Sariah was the high priest at the time of Jerusalem's fall, see 2 Kings 2:5-18, and his son Jehozadak went into Babylonian captivity, see 1 Chronicles 6:15. The name Ezra, meaning help, is apparently a shortened form of Azariah, YHW has helped, a name that occurs twice in the list of his ancestors. Besides being a priest, Ezra was also a skilled scribe, verse 6, one who copied and studied the law. After the exile, the office of scribe came into prominence, in some ways replacing the prophet in importance, and eventually eclipsing even the role of the priest. Nelson Study Bible, note on verse 6. Verse 11 shows Ezra's deep spiritual commitment to studying God's law, living by it, and teaching it to others. He is here called Ezra the priest, the scribe, expert in the words of the commandments of the Lord, and of his statutes to Israel. Ezra became known in Jewish tradition as the scribe's scribe, or the teacher of scribes, note on verse 11, considered founder of the scribal movement, which had a formative impact on the Jewish religion of Christ's day. The king commits a remarkable degree of authority and wealth into Ezra's hand. There is no question but that God was involved in the giving of this decree, as that is explicitly stated in verses 27-28. Indeed, it is from this decree that we are to date the commencement of the 483 years of the 70 weeks prophecy of Daniel 9, leading to the appearance of the Messiah. For more on this, see the Beyond Today Bible commentary on Daniel 9. Nevertheless, God often works through typical human motivations of national leaders to bring about his intended results. Biblical historian Eugene Merrill comments, "It will be helpful to see if there were any political factors that motivated Artaxerxes, who had murdered his own brother, to become king, this beneficent policy of helping the Jews. For try as we might, it is difficult to believe that the king was operating out of purely charitable motives. We have already suggested that the neutralization of the Greek Delian League after 460 left Artaxerxes free to deal with matters closer to home. He instructed Megabyzus, his brother-in-law, an official who had bribed Sparta to attack Athens, and had then been made governor of the satrapy of Syria, to lead Persian troops south from Cilicia, in what is now southern Turkey, to wage war on Egypt, the ally of Athens. After defeating Athenian troops at Persopolis, an island in the Nile Delta, Megabyzus brought Egypt itself to submission in 456. Very possibly then, in 458 or 457, Artaxerxes viewed a loyal Judean province as an important asset for his anticipated disciplinary action against Egypt. And what better way to ensure Judean loyalty than to allow Ezra, no doubt a highly popular and powerful Jewish leader, to re-establish Jewish life and culture in that little land that was so crucial to Persian success? pp. 506 to 507. God was no doubt involved in the geopolitical circumstances that made such a decision appealing to Artaxerxes at this crucial time. Ezra 7, 7-9 briefly mentions the journey of Ezra and his company to the Promised Land, a journey that took 4 months, including an 11-day wait at the beginning, as we will see in the next chapter, which gives more details about this second Jewish return from captivity. Compare Ezra 8:31. The decree itself, in Ezra 7:12-26, is written in Aramaic. In the decree, the Jews are referred to as the people of Israel, verse 13, while those represented were almost all from the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. They were nevertheless looked upon as the remnant of Israel, especially since Israel was the name of the nation in covenant with God, the God of Israel, a term also used in the decree. It might seem odd that Artaxerxes would himself use such terminology. More peculiar still is the phrase priests and Levites, same verse, as this seems a particularly Jewish distinction and not one the Persians would make. This wording has in fact aroused suspicion among scholars about the authenticity of the document. Yet it is likely that the king used Jewish officials, perhaps Ezra himself, to help draft the decree. The 7 counselors of verse 14 are parallel to those of Xerxes in Esther 1:14. The support for local religions by the Persians is attested to in historical documents. There are close parallels to the directive of VV. About specifics regarding offerings in the Elephantine letters, that is in the so-called Passover papyrus, in which a later Persian emperor, Darius II, ordered the Jews of Elephantine Island, in what is now the city of Aswan in southern Egypt, to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and also in the temple reconstruction authorization for the Jews of Elephantine to build their own temple. Let meal offering, incense, and burnt offering be offered upon the altar of the god Yahoo in your name. Expositors, note on verses 15-16. There might have been some superstition on the part of the Persian rulers in their policy of promoting local religions. Perhaps they genuinely wanted to win the favor and avoid the wrath of the gods worshipped throughout their realm. Yet at the same time, it just may have seemed rather practical to them to win the favor of subject peoples and keep order among them. With the conclusion of the decree in verse 26, the text of verses 27-28 returns to Hebrew. These 2 verses, written by Ezra in the first person, begin a section that continues to the end of chapter 9 known as the Ezra Memoirs. Ezra is greatly encouraged by the evident intervention of God to once again bless his people. And,